Hello everyone, back for another pickups. I know I did 15 videos of them. That can't possibly be more, right? No, there is, but this, I wanted a sizable gap before I went over any pickups or anything of the like. So, yeah, there's been a little bit of a gap here, but, yeah, it's the responses on that whole series of me just catching up and just posting videos again was just wonderful. I thank you so much. I said in the other videos, it means the world to me that you're watching and commenting. It just blows my mind. But there's quite a bit that I got over the holidays, and I wanted to show anything kind of music or media related that I had gotten. I got like cologne and the normal stuff that you get over the holidays, and I'm very thankful for that. I did get this nice little Loungefly bag, this Heimlich Loungefly bag. As you can see, the backpacks now in my background have kind of expanded. But I got this backpack. This is my Chip and Dale backpack that I had for my last Disney trip. And I got this Donald one last year as well. But I want to go over some of the goodies that I had gotten over the holiday. My buddy sent me a new backpack, but he sent me this really cool set of vinyl coasters. I'm actually using one right now. But they look like actual records. It says, like here, it says, Rest on Me. And it has grooves on it. It feels like an actual record. It's really cool. And they also, it looks like they do vinyl bowls as well, but I'm happy to have these. It's like a perfect gift for me. The next thing I want to talk about here, so one other thing I love is movies. I might branch a little into movies. I'm not too sure. But there's a lot of movies that I like. And there's a collection that had been announced, I think in, 2023, that I was really excited about. And one of my favorite shows when I was little was called Digimon. And of course there was Pokemon. I also like Pokemon as well. I still kind of do like Pokemon and Digimon. But there was Digimon the movie that had come out. And it was a hodgepodge of the first 3 Japanese films. But what's important about that was the soundtrack. Because that soundtrack, if I had to pick an important soundtrack other than Twilight, this is the most important soundtrack ever to me. This soundtrack got me into music as I know it today. And although I credit the Twilight soundtrack for being that, this was the stepping stone for that. So there's a company called Discotek Media, and they come out with anime releases and the like, but this was the first one. This is Digimon the Movies. So Digimon the Movie was these 3 movies cobbled together with one story with ska music put in. There's Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. There was Less Than Jake. There was I heard All-Star from this movie before I heard it from Shrek. So this came with all 3 movies with the original Japanese dub and new American dub. Now, what's dub versus sub? Dub is dubbing. So if I'm going to cut out obviously for here just a moment. So I said when you're talking here, you heard no audio. But if I put over, say, Spanish or Japanese, that would be the sound. It's the dubbing of the sound. And then you read the subtitles. That's called subbed versus dubbed. But anyway, so this came with the original Japanese audio. And then they brought back whomever was still alive and not retired to reprise their roles for all 3 of the films. That's more than enough value, but included on the disc is the original hodgepodge cluster of a movie, Digimon the Movie. And I love it. It's as good as you can get with a collection like this. And I love the packaging on it. So I might branch into talking about some of the movies that I own at some point, who knows. But I wanted to come on here because this is so important to me, honestly, my channel and who I am, that I had to take a minute to talk about it. moving right along. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about a gift I got from my buddy Chris. This was a actual. He had sent me 3 records, and this was a precursor to what I was gonna get later, and I'll talk about that in just a little bit. But this is a 7-inch by Sharon Van Etten of Silent Night and Blue Christmas. This is on the Yaga Yaga War label, if I even pronounced that correctly. This 7-inch is really cool. It is actually, if I can get it to properly, it's on translucent blue. So this has Silent Night and Blue Christmas, and she brings something different to these songs. I mean, they're the songs. I love the songs, but whenever you can bring something different to a well-known song, it's something great. Honestly, it's something really cool to listen to. So, yeah. Silent Night, Blue Christmas. Speaking of blue, actually, I'm going to save this one just a little bit. Actually, why not? Speaking of blue, we'll talk about that in just a moment. But I talked about in that little series that I loved this album here, Crocodile Tears by Lauren Mayberry. Now, this is the CD version. I didn't have the money for the vinyl version, so I went with the CD. CDs are not talked about as much, but they have their value. Glad to have this. I will definitely be getting the vinyl at some point, but the reason why I wanted this, and you saw this in my top video, was I got a signed art print copy. So I'm happy to have that as well. But now that we've gone through the tiny things, the smaller things, let's talk about the big things, the records. So the first one I want to show is one that I had gotten on a Target sale for, I want to say, yeah, $7. The next one on here is $7. But this is Joni Mitchell's Blue. It is on a version of the Reprise. This is done with the lacquers, cut by Bernie Grumman, supervised by Joni Mitchell. And my friend Marican said that this sounds fantastic. It's the same masters as that Blue release. So from my understanding, this remaster sounds fantastic. I've not had a chance to clean or listen to any of these ones I'm showing you yet. But that's because I'm actually, as of the filming of this, I'm waiting on my actual brand new computer. UPS caused issues with that one, but that was out of their, that wasn't their fault on that one apparently. So I don't know, I have shipping woes for whatever reason, but we'll get into that in another video. Joni Mitchell's Blue. The next one I wanted to show you is one that was in my top albums of last year. Lindsey Stirling's Duality. Now this is the Target exclusive on Rose Pink, and it does have 2 bonus digital songs. It's on this really, really beautiful dark pink and light pink splatter, splatter slash swirl. And I love the custom labels on this. I talked in depth about that, about this album in my last video. Let's see. No, I will talk about that one in a little bit. Aha, yeah. So, my mom said pick out an album. I gave her a list of ones, and she's like, okay. So, this is one that has been on my list for quite some time, and I always passed it up in the record store. And I was like, it's about time for me to get into having physical for this band and really getting into their music. And I thought this is a perfect way for me to branch into their music. And say what you will about greatest hits. Sometimes it could be all you need. Sometimes it could be the great branch way into their music. But sometimes it might be the only way to get into their music because of how expensive vinyl is. But it is The Cure's greatest hits. This is not the picture disc version. This is the standard black version. Glad to have that one and finally be able to get into vinyl. I will talk about that one a little bit. Aha. So we were talking about greatest hits and comps. Here's 2 more that I'd happen to find on the clearance rack. And my boss gave me a Target gift card. And I was like, okay, cool. I was actually going to save it for something else, but I happened to notice that both of these were $11 a piece. And one of these is the greatest hits that I've wanted because of a certain song being on there that I don't have on vinyl yet. So these are the two. It's Journey's Greatest Hits and Madonna the Immaculate Collection. So Madonna's the Immaculate Collection is on the Sire label, and the Journey Greatest Hits is on the Columbia label. So both of these are CDs that I listened to in high school constantly. I love both of these compilations. This one right here, particular, has been on repeat since I've been little because my mom loves it too. This is ingrained in my mind. Every single song has been ingrained in my mind since I was little. And I don't talk about Madonna much because I like some other artists a little bit more, but as soon as I saw this was there, I was like, okay, maybe this is finally the time for me to get this on vinyl. And boom, it was on sale. And it sounds fantastic. Win-win. Journey's Greatest Hits, I have a lot of their albums on vinyl, but I don't have the song Ask the Lonely. Finally have that. That is honestly, that's probably my favorite song by Journey, if I'm being honest. So I'm finally glad to have that. Both of these were absolute steals for what they were. Give me a moment here just to shift a couple of things around down here. Yeah. So, the next three I want to show were ones that I picked up at the book exchange, Half Price Books, here in my city. And I've talked about this place before. I've shown a couple of pickups videos this place, and whenever they put anything out, it's in VG Plus or near mint condition. And one of these is one that I was like, okay, I looked at it and I'm like, there's a song on there that I've been wanting on vinyl for a long time. Had to pick it up. But the first is one that I was just intrigued by the cover. And I try not to buy too much based on that. But when they're about $7 a piece, $7 is fine for me to put some money into. But the first one is Fashion Fabrique 80s album. I mean, look at this cover and tell me this. I mean, it could look 90s, but 80s gem of an album. And this is Value Line LP, new music at a property at a popular price. I almost said property price. Yeah. But was this thing? Yeah. This is what drew me in. It is for promotional use, not for sale, ownership rights. This is a gold stamped promo version. I was like, for $7, I'll give this a shot. I did take a listen to it on YouTube because it's not really on streaming. Gem of the 80s. Like, it's just a gem or whatever era, if I'm wrong. Just thinking, it's a gem. I love those hidden gem albums. The next one is, every year I like to pick up a new Christmas album on vinyl. And I saw this. It's not the Christmas album by this artist, but it's enough to tie me over. Johnny Mathis, For Christmas. And this is on the Columbia label. And my mom and I like to refer to Mr. Mathis here as Mr. Christmas. I love Johnny Mathis Christmas music more than anything. Glad to finally have some Christmas songs on wax from him. And the last one is somebody that I've talked about, not necessarily in depth on this channel, but someone that I've talked about before. This was from, if I remember, I don't remember what exact episode, but I remember I was talking about some records that I had gotten at the thrift store with Poco. I talked about, and I got the Loggins and Messina. Well, this is Loggins and Messina, Best of Friends on the Columbia label. And the main reason I had picked this up was for, yes, not necessarily Danny's song, but House at Pooh Corner. Now, I have returned to Pooh Corner, which is on Kenny Loggins' solo outing, his solo kids album. But I've been looking for House at Pooh Corner. And I just so happened to look, and boom, this was the first one I picked up. I mean, in my hands as soon as I was in that book exchange. It's in really good condition. Again, I have to, this one I actually did clean. And so I, in the comments of my video about the the Record Doctor, somebody said I should rinse the records. So I actually did have a bottle of ready to go distilled water for rinsing purposes. And I'm actually going back now to the ones I've cleaned and rinsing them. And then from now on, it's going to be clean and rinse. So if you noticed, I put C for clean, but I'm also putting an R for rinse. So CR means I've cleaned and rinsed it. So I've made a system of that. Did I clean and rinse the other ones? Yeah, all the last three I showed were clean and rinsed. Have a couple more to show you. Let me actually move these so I know where I am at here. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So, before the holiday season was over, I needed some extra outer sleeves. Sorry. One of the records I had off camera fell. Sorry about that. But, I went to my favorite record store, Vinyl Days Records, and I needed some outer sleeves, so I was like, okay, let me spend about $20. I have $20 on top of getting some album sleeves, and I was like, okay. Saw this, saw it was in Fiji condition. I think I might have filmed this. I'm not sure if I did. But there was one year where my mom got me the Best of Cream. And one of our jokes was, for the longest time I didn't have it in my collection. So, for those of you who don't know, I started collecting, I've been collecting most of my life, but I started collecting in 2012. But before then, I actually had a set of albums that were always moved with us, no matter where we moved, the last couple of times. And my mom kept asking, hey, we had the Best of Cream. Do we still have that? I said, no. And this is another album that swore up and down that we had. But what turned out was, I think my dad, my late dad, had put a bunch of albums in the oven when we had moved, and they had warped a bunch of them, so we had to get rid of them. But this is one that was on that list. Finally have it now. Machine Head by Deep Purple. And this is replica of the Warner Brothers label. This is, I believe, a reissue because it does say 180 grams. So, finally glad to have that one in the collection as well. The last three are gifts by two of my friends. So these two right here, Boom Boom, are by my friend. So I'm going to save those two for last. This is actually the latest one. My buddy Ben picked this one up for me. And I don't know if I've talked about this artist on this channel, but I had heard of this artist, and through my friend Sphere, I've heard quite a bit of this artist. There is definitely some memeage from this artist too that I absolutely love. But this is Chaparral Run. So I had heard of Hot to Go and Pink Pony Club. I love those tracks, but I had heard of this whole album, and I loved it, but I'd forgotten about it a little bit, to be honest. But was given this by my buddy, so thank you so much. And this is on orange wax. I have just maybe about less than a week ago that I got this as of the filming of this, so I've not had a chance at all to clean that. So I'm looking forward to getting a chance to do that. And the last two albums are pretty cool. So if you remember, just a couple minutes ago, I was talking about Sharon Van Etten. Well, Sharon Van Etten, the full size, along with the 7-inch. So this is the album. We've been going about this all wrong. And it's on this really pretty splatter, almost call this pinwheel. It looks like a pinwheel. I've not had a chance to listen to this yet, but from what I've heard from that cover 7-inch, the 2 covers. I know I'm gonna love this, but just look how cool that cover is, and just the aesthetic of the album matching. It's absolutely fantastic. And got one more to show you. So well, actually 2 more to show you. Whoopsie, I have 2 more. Yes. So I think I talked about this before, but Record Store Day Black Friday, I picked up this one here, Scarlett Johansson's Anywhere I Lay My Head. I think I talked about this on Black Friday. Yeah, I did. But if you did not get to watch that video, I picked this up on Record Store Day Black Friday. This is her tribute album to Tom Waits. And along with the Share Van Etten, this is the last album I want to show here. So, you know from that little mini-series that I just did that this was my de facto #1 album. My buddy said he went to a concert and got me a record. I was like, I can pretty much guess what it's going to be. But I was not expecting it to be signed. So, thank you so much, Chris. Cassadee Pope's Hereditary Deluxe. Signed. Pink wax. I've already talked to depth about this album already. What more can I say? It's a wonderful album. I'm so glad to have this. Now, let me see here. Yes. Song Bad Decisions. Cassadee had filmed a bunch of her live shows for that music video, and I was at one of those shows. I'm in the background. You can't really see me. I'm kind of like tucked off to the back just because of the way I'd gone in and where I was with the barrier, but for like a split second you could see me in that video. So that's my like little oh cool from last year, was I was in that music video. So you know, there you go. Those were the pickups. Thank you so much for checking this out. Got a lot more planned for this channel, but this is my last filming of at least this session right here. I filmed like 4 videos in one of those little swath here. So thank you so much for watching. If you've been listening to anything cool, let me know down in the comments below. I always love to hear about that. And as I say at the end of everything I'm in, when the waters get rough, please keep on sailing. Take care. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.